So can we start? Can we start?
Yeah, shall we start?
Yeah, yeah. So hello, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Too.
You wanted to say something about your A string.
Yes, I just wanted I wanted to apologize in advance because it's not really behaving well. I just changed it, but hopefully it will be fine.
Yes, I'm sure it will be fine. And you know, there's a trick. If you have a new string, there's a trick how you can kind of make it like feel like it already like it worked already a couple of days. You take a piece of paper like this, okay, and then you put it under the string. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
So you put it under the string like this, okay. So it's around the string.
Yes.
And then you press with 2 fingers and you move it up and down like this. Yeah. So, and usually you see now, because my string is already old, usually you see a trace of the string on the paper. So because you rub, you know, you press a little bit with the fingers and you rub with the paper, and then the surface gets a little scratched or whatever. It's the same effect as if you play like for a couple of hours. So then the tuning goes down, and basically you can use it. You tune it, and it helps to make the process a little faster. You know, it won't change the pitch so much then.
Okay.
That helps. Yeah, I learned that from a violin maker where I tried violins, and he put new strings, and when you have like all new strings on the violin, it sounds quite terrible. Yeah. And that helps you also if you put on like 4 new strings. It doesn't change the pitch so quickly. It feels a little older right away. So, but make sure you press with your fingers so it gets a little. You can feel the heat on your fingers. So that's you're not too careful. You know, really paper and okay. Okay, that's this. Okay, what do you want to play?
So I would like to start with some Bach, Allemanda and Corrente from the second Partita.
Okay.
And then if we have time, then maybe the first movement of Ysaÿe number 4.
Okay, which is also Allemande.
Yes.
It's funny.
Happens to be.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you start? Why not? Okay, very good, nice. I like it very much. You know, basically I like most of the things you do. I like very much, but I find it sometimes the big line gets a little lost. It gets a little too like, you know, this element and this element and this phrasing, and it gets very. I lose a little bit the big landscape. Yeah, so it gets like a little like if you have a like different. It's very exaggerated what I'm saying, but if you have like words and you pronounce them very well, in the end they have to be in a context and make a sentence, you know. And right now it's a little bit, you know, you have this element and it's very pretty, but it doesn't really connect so much. So be careful that the big line doesn't get lost. In general, I find, of course, this is not a Brahms concerto, but you have to make sure that the core, sometimes the core of the sound gets a little lost, you know, so it gets a little bit too much of. So it could be a little more core to the sound, and in the Corrente, I'm missing a little bit. I'm missing some of the rhythmical energy. So it's, I think the most interesting thing is always the like articulated like the groups, and in like in contrast to the dotted rhythm, you know, you have the, and this sounds to me, it sounds almost like a triplet. So it should be, and in the end, sorry, my window is open. In the end, both movements, as very often in Bach, are dance movements. So very different dance movements. One is, as you said, is Allemande and Corrente, which is like the Italian. All those movements. They had back then they had a kind of a function in a suite, you know. The position of the movement was kind of determined where the Corrente, which number of the movements the Corrente is, and so the two movements have a different kind of function, and it would be nice if at the same time it's a dance, but it's a different kind of dance. And to me, it's a little indistinctive, you know. So, and the Allemande is usually it's connected to German, right? Allemande is originally like a German dance. So It's a little heavy, like we Germans are a little, you know, little not so. So it's a little. It's kind of. Yeah, it's not a happy dance of young people flirting or whatever, but it's more like the introduction to a serious piece of music, you know, and so it should be a little more, probably a little more official, you know. You're introducing this piece, which is very famous for the chaconne, of course, but this is kind of the introduction to it. You know, so it would be nice if you transport a little bit that feeling of seriousness and you know, very mature, but still something with a rhythmical background, because it's a dance, right? So, and now it feels a little bit like a piece of art, but it's not very clear what it's pretty, but it doesn't have a purpose. And both of the movements, I find. So the second movement, also, this is much Corrente, like courier, like you know what, like the courier, he brings, you know, the mail or something, and usually he runs, right? So he has to speed up. He's running, or it's rather fast. So this is more lively and more like, you know, jumping around, and the first movement should be like introduce this important piece. Okay, so one small like technical detail in the first piece, when you have the like sometimes you have three notes slurred and one separate. So there are two different, technically it's two different ways. You can play it, either you hook it or you play it separately, the single note. If you play it separately, you have to make sure that it doesn't get an accent all the time. So, because otherwise you destroy kind of the line. You know, if and so you have to. I don't care which bowing you take in the end, but so that it doesn't get an accent. So, but in general, I mean, bravo. So I liked it. Can you play one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, it's also a matter of what you like. I can propose you something, and in the end, you say you don't like it. You do something else. But to me, this is too shy. You know, basically, it's the introduction. You have. It's like almost. I mean, it's hard to say this in a Bach piece, but it's almost like badam, badam. So it's like a call of attention. So badam. As you play it, to me, it's like more like a question, or it's like somebody entering a room very like carefully, but a little shy, you know, or. For me, it has to have some weight and authority. Okay, so can you try one more time with more, like, you know, imagine being like a heavy man, you know, somebody who comes in the room, like the king is coming in the room, or so it's like the king, for example, wants to dance with the queen and comes in the room, and ta-da, you know, and it's not so much ta-da. Try. Yes. Okay. I'm proposing, and in the end you do what you think. It's too much this kind of song. for me, this is it's to have some more, a little more substance. It's the introduction piece of this huge, like partita with the chaconne, you know. So can you try a little more that kind of sound and not so much? That sound is a little more, you know, there are movements like or even like that's more like dream-like. But in this case, I don't feel it's not so dream-like. It's more concrete and more official. You know, it's not so personal, but it's a little more like a statement. So more this kind of sound and not. Also, because you know now you're in a room with very good acoustic, I can hear that it's a little too much for even probably, yeah. So, but you have to like there has to be core to the sound, and right now it's too fragile. I don't feel this movement to be so fragile. Try one more time. Huh? Sorry for interrupting. It's very gracious, but it's not. Try with more, yeah, like more formal. It's also a matter of the rhythm. It sounds beautiful. So, but for me, it's too. It's very nice, but the first note already, you know, the first note said, you know, which is very remarkable. The second note is a double stop, right? Yeah. So why a double stop? He wants it really to ring, right? It's very unusual. So, and not too soft. It means also if it's bit sound would be very. It's almost like a like a trumpet. You know, bam, open string and like double. And the upbeat not too soft, not because it gets lost. Also some pain. It's not so. Yeah. Okay. Try.
Sorry. Do you use open string for the upbeat?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's not marked, so you can do basically. You could do otherwise too, but I think I think later on you're also sometimes using open string. So back then, so you might.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Can you have more? I'm losing a little bit the expression. Also, the small notes, you can have this sound. In the end, you know, you have to make a choice. Okay, so I would propose that you have a little more contact. Not. Because you can, yeah, I think it will project better. From here, huh? Okay, very nice, nice. For me, it sounds, I exaggerate. I exaggerate. So that was what I'm of course, you are right with the phrasing, but if it gets too much, I have like these little pieces. So try to so you have kind of, you know, otherwise it gets like little beautiful pieces. Good. Yes, good. Also there, you know, I agree with all the phrasing you do, but it gets a little too, I exaggerate. So make sure if you do, even before when you repeated the phrase, I heard all the phrasing, but it was not so separate. So if you do it, make sure you don't take time every time. So like I exaggerate, but so okay, so that it's a little more context. Maybe from there. Okay, great. Okay, this is the place where I hear it's difficult. You can consider but it's fine for me. Try your bowing and try not to Good. Good. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. I liked it. Very good. Can you make sure that I don't hear, it's a very tiny thing, that I don't hear the string crossings? So it's really, you know, you have this really big slur. Sometimes when I can hear the so really try to connect it. Can you play from here? Good. Very good. Okay. Okay, can you try to do the same thing, but you go, you really bring that out, you did it before, so. And now bigger, good. Okay, good, good. Great. When you do that stroke, can it sound like articulated as if it's like So don't lose the small note. And it would be nice if it gets like a swing kind of. Huh? No, you know, you lose the small notes. It sounds like this. So not to the rhythm has to be a little slower. Good, good, nice, nice. Now more. Good. Good. Okay, okay, okay. So nice. I like that. When you have this, you know, this is kind of, this is kind of an event always where this is kind of the introduction, you know? Can this be a little more like a signal? It's like a signal, like something is starting. Okay, so really bring that out again. Okay, sometimes, sorry to interrupt, sometimes when you have this rhythm with the small notes, I can also be due to the, like, you know, to technical system, but in general, the small notes get lost. I don't hear the small notes. From here, good, good, good. Okay, okay, nice. It's again a little like I exaggerate, of course. Okay, try everything is nice, but it takes a little. It's a little too much. Then we get kind of, you know, in the end, I want you to kind of pull me with you. And if you do this, it's like somebody's pulling my nose in this direction, then so. And in the long term, it gets a little tiring. You know, for this reason, it has to be, it would be nice if it's a little more connected, a little more. Good. Good. Nice. Good. Okay, okay, nice. If you play this as was this first time or second time?
second.
Okay, so if you play it the second time, it should be more like again like that. It's a statement. It's a little too. You have all those kind of funny harmonies. I would really bring on. So this has to be a little more of an event. That kind of, can you try one more time, maybe
so So with a little ritornito at the end, or no?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I think it can, like, it's not, I wouldn't call it ritornito, but like, something is coming to an end. So you have to prepare a little bit. So. But not just. I exaggerate, yeah? If you don't do it, in the end, it's always a matter of how much, You want salt in the soup, but not too much. So you have to, right now it sounded like a little bit, okay, it's over. So, but if you imagine, a dance, and it's the end of the dance, usually they make they bow to each other at the time, right?
Yeah.
They dance and, it's very, and in the end they make, there is a certain routine. In the end, there has to be a certain, things have to happen and they take their time, and if it's going through, it's not official enough. So, play from. From there? Okay, there's one thing I personally I would wish more, like that it's more extraordinary. So this is more like painful. In the end, you have to find your personal amount of salt, but there has to be salt. So one more time. Okay. Can this be more that you kind of enjoy, that it's like, I would imagine like, something is like going like a sort of, if I imagine a dance, that somebody is like going up, and going down. So it's a dramatic thing. Whatever. Okay, so a little more, imagine how it would look somebody if you dance it. Okay, and it would certainly not look. So there has to be a certain effort in this. Like to get it up, you have to invest energy, right? So it's too effortless. Yes, good. Good. Okay. Nice. Okay, that's gone. Okay. So to me, it's lacking spice. So, so you have again that which you have very often in those movements. You have kind of an upbeat, which is fast, and then you have a chord or something. And in this time, basically, the listener doesn't know what's going to happen, right? So it's like padam, and then the movement is starting. So it's almost like a signal. Okay, wake up! There's something new, like padam. So. So and then you have those two elements, and there should be more like useful. But the first chord is like, wake up. It's not, it doesn't make me wake up. It's also, you have the, like the contrast between the triplets, and this, it's not a triplet, it's really short. And there are not many chords in this. So always only in the beginning, it's the only, okay, this, there you have a chord which really strong harmony in the end. But apart from that, you only have two chords in this movement right at the beginning. So it's special. You can even, it's almost like a fermata or like stop, Okay, try. Okay, can you try once, that sometimes in that kind of music, the rhythm is kind of, it's relative. So if you don't playing, but you play a little overdotted, right? In this case, in the beginning, I would also do that. So because you want the maximum of energy. So if I play, it doesn't have the drive, so I can play like, but it's a completely different character. So I would play it a little shorter and articulate it. So not. So you have to lift the bow after the small note. And if you do that, the funny thing is, if you do that, the string rings. So at the same time, you play a very short note, but still it fills the gap. But the energy is a different one from playing. The energy of this is a little like this, right? And this is kind of, so. Okay, try. Shorter and articulate. No? Yes? Can you play? Yeah. Do you want to tune your A string? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Can you play like this? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Good. Yes. 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 The C sharp high enough. The D. Yes. 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 Good. Good. Okay, okay, okay. Nice. I liked it. I liked it. It has much more energy. And then now we have again, like before, you have like small detail that kind of interrupts the line too much. So don't take so much time. It's too much time. Yeah, okay. Good. Okay, okay, okay. Your name was Sabina. Sabina. Yes. So it's a little. I miss a little energy in this. Can you play one more time this? So with energy. Okay, try the same thing but without vibrato. Okay. Yes. Okay, okay, okay. So the long note, the bow speed is too fast. So you have one note where you pull very slowly. Not. So the long note a little longer. Good. Yes, and the small note, can it be a little faster? Good. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So that makes it much more, that gives much more energy because there's a contrast. You have always energy when there's a contrast, right? If it's kind of, okay, medium and a little more than medium and again medium, so you have to have the contrast that gives, that's exciting. So okay, one more time. Slower. Yes, slower. Yes, good. Yes. Good. Okay, try one more time, but in tempo. Don't lose the tempo. Good. 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 Is that your bowing? Sorry. Is that your right, or did you just make a mistake?
No.
Huh? What are you doing there?
So,
Like this?
no.
Aha. Okay. Why don't you? Why? I don't want to mess with your bowing, but it just looked a little funny. But why I'm talking about is because it sounds a little different, you know, and you have this kind of you have those two elements. You have the element the slurs, and then so, and if you change the element, if you have a different bowing, it should really sound the same way. Otherwise, it sounds. We have a saying, not in German we say nicht Fisch, nicht Fleisch, so it's not neither meat nor fish. So you have to have I don't care about the bowing, whatever you do, but it should sound exactly the same, like and not. If it sounds different, then you have to find a way to. I don't care about the bowing, okay? And then. Good. Good. Yeah. Okay, I could also imagine that you make a little more of this, like. It's also, huh? Quite dramatic. So, like that, it's not so just passing by. Can you try? Good, good, good. Also, try. Yeah. Okay, good, good. Okay, just because otherwise it's so, the intonation is so nice. So here, be a little more careful. It's a little look for it. Maybe from here. Good. Better. Stop on the A. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Good. The B. Yes. Okay, fine. Also, yes, yes. The G sharp high enough. Yes, good. You know what nice fingering is to play it with the third finger. So third finger. Try. Yes, and from above. Yes, you can try that. Yeah. Good. Good. Okay. So very good. In that movement, look one more time, because when we repeat it, sometimes we start to listen. Sometimes it's not. This is a little out of tune. Sometimes, okay. Yeah. That otherwise it sticks out, because otherwise it's very much in tune. Okay. So the second half of that movement, I would look a little bit in do. Okay.
Okay.
You want to do a little bit of the Ysaÿe?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Maybe, can you give me your A? So, or let's tune. Do you have a good A? Yeah, okay. Okay. Take your time. Okay, very good, nice. Well, you know the piece well, and yeah, very good. Well, first of all, I find it quite impressive that he wrote that piece for at that time. I think Ysaÿe is a little older than Kreisler, so and basically he writes a piece for a young colleague. It's quite, I mean, it's quite generous that you are the old star or hero and you write a piece for somebody who's kind of a newcomer or at that time. I find it very, it shows a lot of self-confidence, but also generosity. Yeah. So, and at that time, and as far as I know, what do you think the hi-hats? How do you know any recordings or?
For this?
I'm not talking about about Kreisler. Yeah, well, no. In general, I mean, in general, about the playing. Do you know any recordings, or did you hear anything, or what kind of guy was he?
Kreisler, you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think he was a bit of a free spirit. I've heard some recordings, some very old ones in a very poor quality, but
yes,
it's very free.
It's very free.
Viennese,
yes. Yes, but I as far as I know, the people, all the players played in general. They took more freedom than nowadays. And of course, one of the reasons is that they didn't have all the recordings. They were compared to all the time. Now if we play a piece, there are about 8 or 10 or 12 recordings of the piece, and we hear them, all of them, and then of course we kind of make a mix, and of course that's kind of a frame for us. But for somebody like him, the Brahms concerto was just kind of fresh, and all those pieces, there were no recordings at all. So basically, I think all of them, of those people back then, they had the imagination, and it was not so much in a limited as for us. It's kind of course, it's also an inspiration if you can hear all the other people, but in general, it gets more and more there's a certain standard you want to you play like. I think at that time you could hear, from example, from the the way they were shifting, like the glissandi, you could hear who was playing, which is nowadays there are very few people you can really tell apart from hearing them. So, but in general, I think he was somebody who kind of enjoyed life, and when we played with the orchestra in Vienna, I went to the Schönberg house, and there's a little museum about Schönberg in Vienna, and there's a funny picture in the entrance hall. There's a picture, and there's Schönberg. I think Schönberg, he has a cello in his hand, and Kreisler has a funny head, and of course a violin, and there's a group of Viennese people who are dressed up like a group who play in the restaurants, make street music, and one of them is Schönberg and one of them is Kreisler, and so basically I think it could. At the same time, it's an Allemande, so that there's an allusion to a Bach sonata, of course, but there should also be a certain way of. Sometimes I miss a little bit stuff like glissandi or that stuff, like how you connect the notes. It could be a little more fantasy. Right now you play it really beautifully, but it's not so. There could be a more personal touch to it sometimes. Just for an example, For example, just as a tiny, you can use your imagination. And again, there is an introduction which could be if you look at the marking, which is fantastic with that with Ysaÿe solo sonatas. There's so much like information given by him, and he was a fantastic violinist. Even the fingerings are by him, right? Which is a great help, and sometimes it also shows something about how to play stuff. And even this little marking in the first bar over the C. Do you have any idea what it means?
It's like more bow, or as much
Yes.
bow as possible.
Very good, very good. So, and I think because it doesn't make sense to play, I think it refers to the second half of the, like, usually one is a little tempted to play like this. I think it means just for the second half it should be more bow, so the small notes don't lose them. Okay, not to, but so you have the small notes come out. Do you want to try one more time?
Yep.
And it's funny that he writes this sign BR is also very like personal sign. It means to play rhythmical, right? So it's funny by a composer to write, okay, please play rhythmical. But so really try to play the rhythm. One more time. By the way, you did. Okay, I think there should still be, even if you play rhythmical, there should be a direction. So not. So direction to the. Good. Ah. Okay. There I lose it, and I exaggerate, but it's since he marked so many things. Can you try that? It doesn't sound like but. Not. Ah! No. It, Good. Okay, now, okay. I like that very much, but you're losing a little. You had a little bow for this, right? You ran out of bow a little bit. So you have to save it on the first note. Save the first note. Correct? Good. Okay. Good. Good, and more. Good. Okay, Sabine. So you have, after that, you have an Allemanda written, right? Yes. So in order to make this, and after the Allemanda, you have a ritardando, right? So if you start like this, then okay. So I like very much that you play all the notes, and it's you know, but don't start too slowly, otherwise you cannot go anywhere. Not too slow, huh? Okay, very good. But what dynamic do you have? Okay. Good. Yes, good. Better than. Okay. Really, that can be really virtuosic. It sounds a little, you know, it's the end of allegando ritardando, so really, really good. Good. Okay, in general, I like very much, like, you know, it's a little bit like Bach, where you have to kind of find the voicing. You know, I think I hear too much of this. Huh? So I don't hear this, I hear... Huh? Try to bring that out a little bit. Yeah? Yeah. Good. Okay. So if it gets more difficult, don't play it faster. So none. So really play out the small notes. Okay, did you try? Okay, I know it's not written like this, but sometimes I think in this case you could try to play it on the third string. So I know it's written like this, but in this case, so 1, 3, fourth finger. Yes. Yes, second first. Yes. I think it sounds nice. So it's not by him, but I think if Chrysler ever played a piece, I'm sure he didn't stick to all the fingerings. So do it later. You can. Yes. Okay. Right now you're still kind of mezzo forte supposed to be, huh? Because there's a crescendo coming. So if you give it all away, where to go. And there you, huh? Don't give it away too early. Good. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I think we have to stop. Yes. Otherwise, we wish we could spend a little more time. So, very good job. Bravo.
Thank you,
nice.
Tobias.
Yeah, nice to meet you. All the best, and yeah, see you sometime.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Take care. Bye bye.